Hello, my beautiful friends. Thank you so much for stopping by. I am Lauren of Lauren Jean. I felt like I needed to kind of have a starting place for my channel because I wanted to tell you a little bit about me. I wanted to tell you the kinds of genres that I really love reading. I'm a big mood reader, and so I get into like a big classics mood, and then I get a lot of friends on here loving classics, but then I get into like a young adult fantasy mood, and so I feel like maybe people are confused about my reading taste. So I thought this might be a good jumping off point to kind of tell you all the genres I love to read, what kind of authors I like to read from those genres. I will be doing a video soon where I tell you what books I always will recommend, so be on the lookout for that. But this is more of like a generalized, the genres I like to read, what you can expect from my channel, the vision for my channel, what I want from it, and what I will continue to do. I feel like I've been doing what I'm doing for a while now, but I kind of wanted to just kind of explain myself here, if you will. Like I said, I'm Lauren. I am married to my husband, Ben. He and I have been married almost 11 years in August, which is wild, but also it feels like it's been forever in a good way. Like it feels like we've just always been together, which I love. So we have two little girls. One of them is 7 and one is 4, and we currently are homeschooling our oldest one. Next year, we're going to be doing like a blended school / homeschool situation for her. I will be homeschooling my younger daughter, and then we are expecting another little baby girl in November. So yeah, that's my life right now. I have been so sick with this pregnancy, so I haven't really been able to read very much, but it is just what it is. Life is lifing. And that's okay. But yeah, I really appreciate you being here. But first, I wanted to share kind of my vision for the channel. I had a really big life change in April of 2023. I am a Christian. I believe that Jesus is God. I believe that there is one God, creator of the universe, and he created you and me. He sent his only son, who was not created but was eternal also, to the earth to rescue us from our sin, all the bad things that we do. It's just in our nature because of the fall, which is Adam and Eve disobeying God in the garden. I'm not going to get into all of that theology, but these are the basics of what I believe, just so you know what to expect on this channel. So I believe that Jesus came, he lived a perfect, sinless life. He was, absolutely perfect, and then died on a Roman cross. He suffered and died, and he took on the punishment for our sins. He took it all on himself so that his righteousness, his goodness, his perfectness could come on to me and you, if you believe also that one day when we die, we'll be with Jesus in eternity. So that's like the basics of what I believe. Oh, he didn't just stay dead. He rose again and came back to life. And now he ascended to the throne, ascended to the Father. He made a way for us to not be separated from himself. Those are the basics of my faith. My perspectives will always be coming from that lens. I believe that the Bible is the Word of God. I believe everything in it is inerrant. It doesn't have mistakes in it. I believe that it is God breathed. It's useful for teaching, rebuking, and training in righteousness. I believe everything in it. And so it's not me who decides what it says to be true. It's God who says what is best for us. We get to trust him with that, or you get to not trust him with that, and that's your decision. But just so you know, I'm coming from a biblical worldview. When I read novels, I am looking for novels that have goodness, beauty, and truth in them. I really love it when I find a secular book, or like a book, not specifically Christian fiction, that has so much truth in it, whether the author intended for it to be or not. I think especially with like fantasy novels, good versus evil and good winning over evil. Just these themes of life that I love thinking deeply about. And so on my channel, you will hear me talking about these deeper things, these deeper themes, looking at books in that way. So I won't just be reading novels just to read them. I could be reading genres that might surprise you, but I'm looking at it through a Christian and biblical lens. And my goal is to be able to report back to you, one, the content as far as sexual content or the language, like if there's a lot of cuss words in it. I also want to report back on the darkness factor, if that makes sense. Like sometimes when I'm reading a book, I feel just icky. I can't explain it other than that. It's my belief that we live in a more spiritual world than what people realize a lot of times. And so I do believe in like angels and demons. They're in the Bible, so I believe it. And a lot of times darker books can influence me and affect me in ways I really don't like. I will let you know if I pick up a book that's just feeling dark and I can't read it anymore or whatever. I just want to be honest with my audience, I guess. And just tell you as a Christian how I felt about it, and being very upfront about the content, but also just the spiritual realities of it, if that makes sense. Hopefully you'll stick around and you will understand what I mean. I do believe that we should be putting things in our mind that are lovely and pure and good. I'm not going to be limiting myself to just Christian fiction, because I do believe that that exists outside of that genre. I do love me some Christian fiction, but I read very widely. So I wanted to share with you some of my favorite genres, all the genres that I really do enjoy reading from, some of my favorite authors. But yeah, let's just get into it. I love cozy mysteries. It's like one of my favorite genres. If I could only read one genre for the rest of my life, it would probably be cozy mysteries, because there's just something about them. They're so comforting. They are pretty formulaic, but I don't ever mind. Like, I just love them so much. Some of my favorite authors in this genre are Bree Baker. She has her Seaside Cafe mystery series. Oh my gosh, I love that series so much. It's probably like tied with top 2 favorite. It's like up there with another series that I'm going to talk about. Of course, Amanda Flower. I love Amanda Flower so much. I love her Magical Bookshop mystery series. That's the other one that's tied for top tier. I just love the way that Amanda Flower writes her books and just the magical elements to them. They're so much fun. It's not dark at all. It's just really light and fun. It's just really fun. I'm not going to explain every single author's books on here because we'll be here forever. That will come in my recommendations video. But I also really love Juno Black and Anne Claire, Karina Moss, Ellie Alexander, at least her backlist. Some of her newer ones I don't think I'll be reading, but her backlist is a lot of fun. Richard Osman, the Thursday Murder Club series, I just love it. And Jacqueline Frost, it's actually Bree Baker and Jacqueline Frost are the same person, their pen names. I just love it. She has a little Christmas cozy mystery series. It's so much fun. There's more authors that I like. Vicki Delaney I really have enjoyed, but these are my favorite ones. Of course, I do love just straight mystery. I really love this genre. Not thriller mystery. Of course, the queen, Agatha Christie. She is the queen for a reason. I love her so much. I love her stories, the way she writes a good mystery. It's just a lot of fun. I am working my way through her backlist. Benjamin Stevenson, he is kind of a mix between cozy and mystery. I feel maybe a little bit of thriller in there, but I put him in this section. But his writing style is so fun and interesting. I need to read more from him, but I really have enjoyed the one that I read by him. And then Yukito Ayatsuji, he has this book that's very Agatha Christie-esque. It's called The Decagon House Murders. Oh my gosh, it's so good. He is put into the classic Japanese mystery writer. He's from the 80s, like he was writing during the 1980s. I just really love that book. I'm excited to read more from him. And the next genre that I dabble in sometimes is thrillers. Ever since the Lord really changed me in 2023, I just haven't been able to read thrillers because I feel like a lot of times they have darker content as far as like how they make me feel, if that makes sense. They just make me feel icky because a lot of times, at least more like current thriller fiction, it's just kind of careless with content. I don't know. So it just feels a little bit darker sometimes. I do enjoy a good young adult thriller. A lot of times I think they're fun and like a little more popcorn thriller, if you will. But some authors I like in this genre, Holly Jackson, she's young adult. She does have a lot of language, but I really do love her thrillers. I also have always loved Ruth Ware. I think she could be, I don't know if she will do this, but she could be like a modern Agatha Christie. She sometimes goes into the more like popcorn thrillery, stereotypical thriller books, which aren't bad. Like that's not bad, but sometimes I'm like, you really have a talent for mystery. You know, I just really love the way she writes a story. Jennifer Lynn Barnes, she is another young adult thriller author. Thriller, I guess. The Natural series specifically, I have not finished it, but I really want to, and I'm excited to continue on. I just really liked the way she wrote book 1 and excited to get back to it. Blake Crouch. So I don't have a whole section for sci-fi because I am not a sci-fi reader, but Blake Crouch, this one is like more of a sci-fi thriller, and I loved Dark Matter and Recursion. I have not read more from him, but he's a top one for me. Some Christian fiction. I really do love Christian fiction. I've had a really fun time the last couple of years trying to figure out who I like in this genre and who is like, I don't know. I feel like Christian fiction gets a really bad rap for being cheesy, which definitely it can be, but not all of it is, and a lot of it is really good. And so some of these authors have a suspense or thriller element to them, but they're all under the Christian fiction umbrella, so I thought I would put them here. Nicole Deese. I have been loving Nicole Deese so far. Lately, I don't know what it is, but she just has been really hitting for me. She tends to be more like romance / general fiction, so keep that in mind. Gabrielle Meyer, she has the Timeless series, which is like such a fun historical time travel elements to it. It's so good. I've read the first 2 books. I have a reading vlog where I read those books and I can link it down below. She is really good. I really like the way she's writing her stories. I also have really loved Christina Suzanne Nelson. She's a Christian thriller writer, which I really loved. What Happens Next, I think. It's following like a podcaster. It was so good, like so good. And I loved that someone out there is writing a Christian thriller with still having like hope and faith elements to it. Just makes me so happy. I also really love Terry Blackstock. She is top author for me in this space. She's just so fun, and her faith elements is so good, like so real. It doesn't feel cheesy or like everything's gonna be fine, you know, like it just feels really real. But also her thrillers are crazy, like keep you on the edge of your seat. You're not sure what's gonna happen. I just really have enjoyed her books. Robert Whitlow is another one if you like legal thrillers. I've only read 1 book by this author and I really enjoyed it, but the faith in it was so good. I just really appreciated that. I've read 1 book from Creston Mapes. He is another Christian thriller author, which I really loved. Fear Has a Name is what it was called, and I really want to read more from him. And of course, the queen herself, Francine Rivers. I'm sure if you are a reader and a Christian, you have probably heard of Francine Rivers. She has the Mark of the Lion series. That's my favorite from her. I really want to read more from her. I started The Masterpiece lately, and I'm excited to read that one as well. Another genre I really like reading is just like general fiction or literary fiction. I have been finding this year that I just love general fiction. There's something about it that can go to a deeper place, deeper themes, more emotional, more like family dynamics or friendship dynamics, even sometimes with like magical realism elements to them. I just really, really, really love this genre. Some of my favorite authors, Liz Moore, The God of the Woods. I just love this book. I loved her other book, Long Bright River, and just the deeper themes with it. It makes me feel introspective, and I love that when a book can make me do that. I also really like Adrienne Young. I haven't read anything else except for The Unmaking of June Farrow, which I just absolutely loved. It just was so good. I was a little nervous going into that one, but I loved it. I loved it so much. Maggie O'Farrell, her book Hamnet just wrecked me. It just like broke my heart. Her writing is gorgeous. Like, she is a poet in novel form. Oh my goodness. It's a picture of grief and a mother's grief. I really want to revisit this one because I haven't since God changed my life, but I just loved it when I read it at the time. Another author I love is Frederick Bachman. He has some really deeper yet hopeful and funny books. A Man Called Ove. It's not like an all-time favorite, but it is very heartfelt and makes you feel all the feelings. Although his book, And Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer, that one I don't think I've ever cried as hard reading a novel as I did reading that one. I also really have enjoyed Ellen Hildebrand's books. I would not recommend every book from her, but some of them I would. Okay? You definitely need to read the synopses of her books before you jump into it. The Rumor is not one that I would recommend, but her Winter Solstice or Winter Street ones are really fun, and she has some really good like family dynamic ones which I've enjoyed. And then, like I mentioned, I have been really enjoying reading some classics lately. Some of my favorite books are classics, like Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, and Anne of Green Gables by Ellen Montgomery. So obviously I recommend those books and authors. I also have really enjoyed Thomas Hardy. I only have read one book by him, Far from the Madding Crowd, but I loved it so much. So I definitely want to read his backlist and, like, you know, all his novels. I am also excited to continue reading from Jane Austen and Ellen Montgomery and Louisa May Alcott. So yes, I feel like I'm kind of new to that genre, so I have a lot of classic books on my shelf that I just haven't read. The mood hasn't struck me again to get back into classics, but it will come back around. I know it will. I also have really enjoyed in the past some mythology retellings. I started to read actually the Odyssey and loving it. Where is it? Actually, I have it up here. I know this is not like a retelling. Well, kind of. It's a new translation. It's the Odyssey, translated by Emily Wilson. I have been really enjoying this a lot. I am taking my time with it. It's really good. Really, really good. I really have been loving this translation, by the way. So this isn't a retelling. This is the OG. But I'm really loving it. It's been fun to like see characters in this book that I've read through retellings and getting both of these perspectives, if that makes sense. That's been a lot of fun. Circe by Madeline Miller is one of my favorite retellings. I also really have loved Jennifer Saint. She has some really good retellings, and like her writing is gorgeous. It's beautiful. I love her writing style. I also have really loved Anwen Kaya Hayward. She only has one shorter novel and it's about Medusa, and I loved it. I loved it. I want to revisit it. Like I said, some of these I'm like, do I say this because my lens has changed a lot? But I do feel like I would still resonate deeply with this one. And then also Pat Barker. She has The Silence of the Girls, which, whew, that one, man, that one made me think, and it really, it made me feel a lot of things. So I really, really want to reread that one and then continue on in that series, because I think she just recently came out with the third book following in this series. So anyways, really love those. YA fantasy has been so much fun to read lately. It's just, I don't know, it's kind of a good palate cleanser sometimes. Of course, You can't just jump into a young adult book expecting it to be clean or just like safe or whatever, but these books I have really enjoyed, and the first is Holly Black. I have loved her Cruel Prince series so much. I am very surprised at how much I've loved it. This is one that I kind of never thought I would read, and then got the itch to read it, and so glad that I did, because it's kind of like a classic fairy tale feel, and it's so good. It's super good. I also have really enjoyed Rebecca Ross in The Divine Rivals. I also love C.S. Lewis. This might not be young adult, it might be middle grade, I don't know, but The Magician's Nephew and The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, so good. Literally so good. I don't know if I'll continue on in the whole series. I just don't know, but I could reread The Magician's Nephew over and over and over again, because I loved it that much. Juliette Marillier, she has some really fun, whimsical fairy tale fantasy. She has a retelling of The Seven Dancing Princesses, and it was, I don't know, I think it was just the mood that I was in when I read it the first time. I just really did love it, but I want to visit other books from her. I've only read one, so I'm excited to get to more of her work. And then of course, the OG Suzanne Collins. I loved The Hunger Games as a high schooler. I feel like I was in high school when I read those, probably. That's dating me, but that's fine. I just really, really love the way she tells a story and makes you feel for her characters. I still need to read the Hamish's story, Sunrise on the Reaping, right? I really want to read that, but I'm trying to decide, do I reread The Hunger Games or do I just read it? You know what I mean? So let me know if you have thoughts and feelings on that. Historical fiction. This is one that I have not been into, but I'm realizing more and more that I am very much into it. When it hits, if that makes sense. Like sometimes I'm not, like sometimes it can bore me, but if it's in the right time period that I want to know more about or I'm interested in, usually it hits. Like for instance, the Gabriel Meyer series, that's very much historical fiction. The Timeless series, that one was so good. I have also loved Ariel Lawhon. She is a new author to me. I've read The Frozen River, and oh my gosh, I loved it. I loved that book. It was definitely heavy, and definitely you need to look up trigger warnings, but so good. So good. I have loved Kristen Hanna in the past. She is one that I actually learn a lot about the historical whatever she's writing about. Like with The Four Winds, it's touching on the Dust Bowl, which my grandfather lived through, and so that was such a cool thing to be able to learn about it in a fictionalized lens, if that makes sense, and then going to talk about it with my grandpa. That was just very interesting. I also have loved Taylor Jenkins Reid historical novels. Not every single one would I recommend, but specifically Malibu Rising, I just really deeply connected to that one personally, like on a personal level. I loved it. She also has a backlist of non-historical ones, which I've also really liked, kind of more general fiction or women's fiction, so I really liked her backlist as well. A genre that I'm not typically into, but I dabble in sometimes. I have my favorite authors in the genre, and that is romance. I just don't really read a lot of romance because a lot of times it's just hard to know if you're gonna have an open door scene, or like open door scene meaning like an explicitly sexual scene or sexual content. That really bothers me, and so it's just one of those things that I can't read anything like that. An author who I love, and she just brings me so much joy, is Courtney Walsh. She writes completely clean romance, no language and no sexual explicit scenes. As far as I know, doesn't even do like closed door, which means you know what's going on, but it's not like written on the page, which I just really appreciate her doing that. I'm pretty sure she's a Christian writing in the secular space, which I just love. Like, I love that there are clean romance authors out there writing that for people like me. And I also just love the way she writes her stories. They're funny, the banter is good. She's probably like one of my only favorite romance authors, like straight romance. Usually there is like heavier, not too heavy, but there are other things going on in the story where they're having to deal with like family elements or something of that nature, which I love also. Like I said, Nicole Deese has been one that I have loved. She is in the Christian romance space. I've really, really liked her book so far. I think those are my top 2 that I can think of right now that I currently read and that I currently would recommend to you. It's a pretty short and sweet list with this genre.
Hi friends, I forgot to include that my oldest daughter is just now turning 7. She's learning to read and wanting to devour graphic novels and like middle grade / early reader books. So I really want to include reviews of those books as well on my channel. Let me know if that's something of interest to you, if you'd like to see it in my vlogs or separate videos. Let me know. I have found it very difficult to find specific reviews for specific books. So I really wanted to provide that as a resource as my children are growing and I'm reading more of what they're reading and the world has changed so much. So from a biblical point of view, I will be previewing those books as well.
Some nonfiction that I have really loved. Dane Ortland, Gentle and Lowly. That's probably my favorite ever Christian nonfiction. It's so good. I'm really excited to read. Well, I started his book Deeper. I still haven't finished it. It is very good too. The way he talks about Jesus' love for us, it's so good. I also have loved Felicia Masonheimer. She has Every Woman a Theologian. That book was so good at explaining Christian topics or like ways that a bunch of Christians differ in opinion, but in a non-biased way and in a way that explained it without a bias. And I just really, really appreciated that. I also want to read her book, Every Home, her newest one. I can't remember. Something about keeping your home or something. I can't remember, but I want to read it. I also have loved Elizabeth Elliot, specifically Suffering is Never for Nothing. That book, you guys. You need to pick that up if you have not read it. In fact, maybe listen to it. It was originally like a talk that she had done. Oh my gosh. You need to read it. I also love C.S. Lewis, of course, nonfiction. I also recently read Living in Wonder, Finding Mystery and Meaning in a Secular Age by Rod Dreher. That one was very interesting and very good. I thought it was like very, very good. I just had the best time reading it. He is like an Orthodox Christian, so some of the things in it I don't fully understand or like maybe fully agree with as far as like the practice of how you put it into practice, I guess, but mostly it was just really eye-opening and I really enjoyed it. There you have it, my friends. I hope you've enjoyed like hearing kind of all the genres that I read, my favorite authors and authors I would recommend. I really want to know what's your favorite genre and your favorite author. Let me know down below. Ever since the Lord really changed me in 2023, I have been so much more careful, number one, about what I put in my mind, but also just more introspective about what I'm reading, seeing the good, the beautiful, and the true in everything that I read, because anything beautiful is from the Lord. Anything good is from the Lord. Anything pure, anything lovely, that's from Him. And so I just love to think about these things very deeply. So anyways, I hope that you're on board. If you are, stick around. If you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would really love for you to stick around and see what else I get up to. I'm very thankful that you're here, and I just pray that you also would have your eyes opened to see truth, goodness, and beauty in whatever you put into your mind, that you would be very much more introspective if you haven't been, and careful about what goes into your mind, but also thinking deeply about things. I just really hope that for you, because it is such a gift. I just feel like it's like one of my favorite things of life. All right, friends, until next time, I will see you in my next bookish video. Bye!